Hi Cancer, this is your monthly forecast for November 2014, Vedic Astrology. This is going to apply to you if you have your moon or your ascendant in the sign of Cancer in Vedic Astrology. Now, some of you might be used to watching Western forecasts and Western astrology. It's a little bit different than Vedic astrology. You're probably used to seeing your sun sign. In Vedic astrology, there is more importance placed on the moon sign and the ascendant. So usually transits are actually seen from the moon, but we can also see them from our ascendant. In Vedic astrology, if you don't know where your moon or your ascendant are, just go to my website and you can generate your Vedic chart to see where these placements are in your chart. And then you can follow along my videos once you already know where your moon and your ascendant are, and then just follow those videos, and you can continue following your Western sun sign. Just make sure that you know the difference when you're watching a Western forecast. Just make sure you're using your Western sun sign. And when you're following along with my Vedic astrology videos or any other videos on Vedic astrology, make sure you're following the ones where your moon or your ascendant are placed in Vedic astrology. Now, right from the beginning of the month, as of November 2nd, Saturn is going to be moving into your 5th house. And Saturn represents the 7th house in your case, which has to do with marriage, marriage partners, relationships, or business partners. So with Saturn moving into the 5th house, there's going to be a lot of positive energy in that area of your life. If you're already in a long-term relationship, if you're already in a bonded relationship or in a marriage, then Saturn moving into the 5th house is going to bring some additional good luck and some additional abundance in your partner's life. So things will suddenly improve for that person. Not that they weren't good already, because Saturn was in the 4th house exalted for the last 2 to 3 years. So things have already been going good, and things will continue going good for your partner with Saturn moving into the 5th house. Now, if you're not in a bonded relationship yet, this is going to be a very good time to meet someone. With Saturn moving into your 5th house, and your 5th house is already being aspected by Jupiter, who's exalted. Jupiter is also aspecting your 7th house. This is very, very wonderful, very good energy in regards to your love life, in regards to relationships. So if you've been waiting for that moment is going to be here very soon. And the kind of person that you're going to attract is going to be a very hard worker, responsible, successful, prosperous, somebody intelligent and strong, very strong-minded. That person will probably bring some structure into your life, but that's what you like, because since you're ruled by the moon, you tend to be very fickle yourself, and you tend to, because the moon moves from sign to sign very frequently, you actually need that stabilizing partner, that stabilizing person in your life, somebody who will bring structure and you know, regulations or whatever it is, but somebody who actually brings that stability in your life. Now, because it's Saturn, and Saturn represents your partnerships, the person that is going to be into your life, if you're not already in a bonded relationship, this person, if you begin dating in November, if you start dating soon, this person is probably going to have you on he's going to put you on his fixed agenda. So just keep that in mind. He's already going to have a set schedule, and he's going to fit you into his or her schedule. It's probably not going to be spontaneous where you guys suddenly call each other up and then go on a random date. So it's probably not going to be like that. It's going to be one of those where Every day is planned out from beginning to end. Every field trip you guys go on, everything, every little thing you do is probably going to be on a very set structure. But don't be put off by that. This is going to be, like I said, a wonderful partner, very responsible. Now, this is going to be a wonderful time to meet that person who's going to provide a certain stability in your life and who's going to give you that support. Because with Saturn transiting your 5th house, he's going to be aspecting your 2nd house of income, of wealth, and of resources. So with Saturn transiting your 5th house and aspecting your 2nd house, he might bring some restrictions, he might bring some delays in terms of income or where it has to do with your finances. So as a result, he's going to bring some challenges, but he's not going to eliminate that from your life. So please don't be concerned. And it also has to do with your planetary cycle, whatever it is, whatever cycle you're running right now. So don't freak out or anything like that. But Saturn might bring an element of restriction and an element of resistance to an easy overflow of income. Now, don't forget that Jupiter is sitting in your 1st house exalted, and he's bringing all this beneficial energy into your life. So even though Saturn is aspecting your 2nd house and he's going to be moving into your 5th house, Jupiter is also aspecting your 5th house, and Jupiter is also going to be, actually right now, Jupiter is also aspecting your 9th house of good luck. He's aspecting your trinal houses. He's aspecting the houses that have to do with good fortune, with abundance, with, you know, good luck and help at the last minute. So Jupiter is actually aspecting this. So this is, I see 2 things happening in your life right now. I see with Saturn moving into your 5th house and aspecting your 2nd, I see some type of restriction in the flow of income or wealth, but at the same time, I see beneficial and highly auspicious Jupiter aspecting your 9th house and aspecting that Saturn in the 5th house, which means that you're going to be getting income from outside sources. It might not be from your place of employment, as is typically the case, or it's not that you're not going to receive income at all. What I'm saying is the restriction that you might be seeing or the delay in income, whatever may be the case in your situation, wherever Saturn is imposing his restrictions, okay? So regardless of that, you're going to be seeing some good fortune coming out of different sources. It could be either through your father, it could be through a higher institution, it could be through a vacation or a long trip that you go on, it could be through even somebody who's acting as a benefactor in your life, because that's what Jupiter represents, benefactor, and he's aspecting that house and he's in your 1st house. Now, not only that, but Jupiter's going to be transiting your 2nd house after he leaves Cancer. So this is a really good time where he's transiting all these wonderful houses for you that will more or less bring you that abundance or that good fortune that you need when you need it. And so they just act in confluence with each other, Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn sometimes restricts in some areas of life, but then Jupiter comes in and he gives abundance. So there's always a balancing out between Saturn and Jupiter, and we all need that. We all need a balancing out. We need Saturn to give us those restrictions in order for us to learn certain lessons, to become more humble, and to realize certain things. And certain things are not easy and we must work hard for them. And then we definitely need Jupiter and his spirituality and his wisdom. So we definitely need those balancing factors for our spiritual growth, which is ultimately the most important thing. So it is definitely good to keep that in mind, regardless of anything that may be happening on this material world in this physical form that we have right now. Now, moving forward, Sun is going to be in Libra for the first half of the month, along with Venus and Mercury. Venus is going to leave Libra and enter Scorpio on the 11th of November. The Sun is going to enter Scorpio on the 16th of November, and Mercury is going to enter Libra on the 4th of November, and he's going to be there throughout most of the month. So with these three planets being in your 4th house, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening in regards to your home environment, in regards to your emotions, to your feelings, in regards to maybe your education. So you're going to be having all this positive. There's going to be mixed energy for sure, because Sun, Libra is the least favorite sign for the Sun, but Venus is there supporting the Sun. So Venus is protecting his own house. With the Sun being in Libra the first half of the month, and with, as I mentioned, Saturn moving into Scorpio and aspecting your 2nd house, and then Sun rules your 2nd house. Like I said, at the beginning of the month, you might face a little bit of a small hardship, a small restriction in terms of income, but hang in there, because it's not going to be that difficult or that hard, because Venus is there. So just keep that in mind. And then towards the 2nd part of the month, Sun and Venus are going to be leaving Libra, which is wonderful. Mercury is going to be there all month, and with Sun and Venus moving into your 5th house, now you have all this 5th house energy that's going to be taking place during the 2nd half of the month. And what does this mean? What does it represent? All this 5th house energy is going to be activated, which is your creativity, anything that has to do with entertainment, with fun, with going out and enjoying yourself, things that have to do with going on dates, as I mentioned earlier. With Saturn being there, anything that you do for a while will probably have certain rules and restrictions, or a certain duty that is attached to that. But nevertheless, you have Venus and Sun that they're going to be energizing that house for the 2nd part of the month. Now Mars is going to be in the 6th house for most of the month, and what this tells me is that with all that aggressive and competitive energy that Mars is composed of, all this excitement that Mars has and that Mars represents, he's going to be bringing it into your 6th house. And not only that, but Mars is actually a beneficial planet for you in your chart. He's a yoga karaka. He rules 2 very beneficial houses, which are the 5th house and the 10th house. So with Mars going into your 6th house, he's going to be bringing in all this aggressive competitive energy in terms of your diet, in terms of exercise. You're going to feel very alive, very much competitive, in not only in terms of your diet and exercise regime, but also at work. You're going to feel it. You're going to progress very quickly. Those projects, you're going to be getting them done. Work is going to improve very, very much for you during this month because of all this wonderful Mars energy. He's going to give you all the aggressiveness that you need, that fire, that impetus that you need to excel and to move forward. Well, Cancer, this was your November forecast for 2014 for Vedic Astrology. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for additional forecasts, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.